Hello students, glad to meet you in this session of Communicative English. Communication is very essential, so it helps our survival. In order to make others understand what we say, we have to communicate efficiently and effectively. Now this course, Communicative English, it gives you plenty of scope to practice all the 4 skills of the language: reading, writing, listening and speaking. And you got many interesting exercises in every lesson of your textbook. So today we shall deal with chapter 2. So having done all the vocabulary section and all the other things, question answers, further we will just move on further after the poem builders. Now please remember that in Communicative English everything is going to be unseen passages. Okay, you won't get anything exactly the same passage from your textbook. So please improve your reading and improve your understanding, and I wish you all the best. All of you should score excellently in your public examinations. All the 4 skills should be given equal weightage, and that will help you in your practicals as well as in your theory sessions. Now let us move on to our allotted lesson today. We have to learn the terms with which certain fields and certain people are associated. Now coming to language study, it is on page 18 of your textbook. So it says, do you know these people? And you have got the meaning and then the terms below that. One who studies the stars and other spatial phenomena. So what is such a person called? Is he a geologist or an astronomer or an anthropologist? Of course, he is an astronomer. One who studies plant life. Botanist, zoologist, biologist. So botanist. One who studies insect life. Sociologist, etymologist, entomologist. So it is entomologist. Collector of books, of course it is very clear there, the answer is obvious, bibliophile. It is not anglophile, it is not anaphase. And then one who does charity, what do you call such a person? He is not a psychiatrist, he is not a psychologist, but indeed he is a philanthropist. Now let us learn some foreign words and their meanings. The first one is ad hoc. So meaning is for this purpose. Then sine die, that is without assigning a day, no specific date is assigned. Alma mater, so school or college that one formerly attended. Sub judice, sub judice is still under judicial consideration. Then eureka, of course we know the Archimedes principle and how we screamed out this word, it is I have found it. Then extempore or extempore, pronounced either way, without preparation. Word number 6 is habeas corpus, so writ to bring someone to the court. Then incognito, in disguise. Modus operandi, mode of working. Prima facie, claim without proof that someone has done something illegal. Since this is a foreign word, kindly refer to the dictionary and learn its pronunciation. Caveat, hint of caution. Now let us learn some terms associated with law. These are all legal terms and they prove to be very useful to us. Allegation, claim without proof that someone has done something wrong. Continuance, put off trial until another time. Cross-examine, questioning of a witness by the attorney. Bench trial, trial without a jury in which a judge decides the facts. The next word is juror, a person who is on the jury. Oath, a promise to tell the truth. So normally we use it in our day-to-day conversation. Affidavit, a written fact confirmed by the oath of party before a notary. So you got to get his consent or approval stating that it is true. Then plaintiff, the person who files a complaint in a lawsuit. Warrant, a written order directing the arrest of a party or someone. Then chambers, judge's office. So please familiarize yourself with all these terms and learn the meanings thoroughly. This is again an exercise on vocabulary. So you are given a set of words and you are going to fill it up in the blank. Now let us, I have given the answer, so let us go through it now. A documentation of what happens during a court case and all its proceedings. It is a docket. Then what is bail? It is the amount of bond money paid to the court to guarantee the defendant's attendance at court. Then conviction, judgment of guilt against a criminal defendant. Then what is impeachment? The process of calling a witness's testimony into doubt, or a constitutional process whereby high officials are accused of misconduct. So, that is impeachment. Then the formal charge issued by a grand jury stating that there is enough evidence that the defendant committed the crime is indictment. The legal authority of a court to hear and decide a certain type of case is jurisdiction. To charge someone with crime is to prosecute. The decision of a jury and judge that determines the final outcome of a civil case, it is verdict. A legal advice is counsel. Mind you, it is not COUNCIL, counsel, but it is COUNSEL, counsel. A document notifying a defendant that he is required at the court, that is called summons. Interestingly, the singular and plural of this word, they differ, summonses and summons. Even though summons ends with an S, it is singular. So, let us learn all these facts. One more exercise on vocabulary. So, look at a few terms used in the field of education and use them in completing the sentences that follow. Already we learned some legal terms. Now, there are some terms connected with or corresponding to education. So, he was known for his wit, erudition and teaching. Meanings they have to be learnt by you. They are all provided in the textbook just above these sentences. So, kindly go through them. The school has many intramural clubs. With the development of modern didactics, teaching strategy is increasingly attracting people's attention. I assume that she has a normal child's capacity of assimilation and imitation. He needed a pedagogue to teach him about the world of politics. You could also replace this with mentor. The purpose of holistic education is to prepare students to meet the challenges of living as well as academics. Seventh one, the trainers have a program to teach them vocational skills. This year, my favorite mentor is my English teacher. You could even replace it with pedagogue. They are interchangeable in this case. We now move on to the grammar section, and here we start with tenses. You know, tenses, they play a vital role. In order to speak the language correctly, we have to master the tenses, or at least we should not commit some mistakes while speaking regarding the tenses. Now, here the answers are given on top of the passage. So, you just match it with the blanks and try to fill it up. We will start now. Fill in the blanks with the correct tense form of the verb given in brackets. Now, I dash in London some time ago on a short visit. So, it indicates the past. I dash in London. So, I had been in London some time ago on a short visit, and past tense. So, happened, ed, you add ed there, happened to witness an incident. A very trivial one, but it set me thinking, same verb as it is, set present tense, set past tense, set me thinking. Then I, so here what shall we do now? I was taking, so while I was walking, that is the meaning. So, I was taking a walk in one of the suburbs, and there was a teenager, there was this teenage girl ahead of me. So, be form of verbs is was, are, were, am. So, all these 5 are be forms of verbs. So, apply them in the appropriate context. So, we are talking about the girl. So, there was this teenage girl ahead of me taking her pup for a walk. The pup decided to use that moment to relieve itself. The girl took a paper bag from her pocket. So, look at her social etiquette, cleaned up the mess and then walked on to the nearest bin to dispose of it. What impressed me? So, there of course, you use the past tense was, this was a teenager. Then in the next blanks you tend to use the past tense, but look at the structure of the sentence, this dash an age when there dash a natural tendency to rebel. So, we are talking about the present habit of youngsters. So, this is an age when there is a natural tendency to rebel, but this civic sense was so deeply ingrained. So, you can observe that I switched on to the past tense here. This civic sense I found in that particular girl. So, was so deeply ingrained in her that she never gave a second thought to it. So, the last 3 or 4 blanks, they contain the past tense. So, it is a mixture of both the present and the past. You have to analyze the context and then fill in the blanks accordingly. Another exercise in tenses. So, here it talks about our habit in general and we learn a lesson from this. So, it reflects the Indian psychology or behavior. So, you are going to complete the passage by choosing the correct form of the verb from the options given. So, you got the options there, choose the right answer. So, read it once or twice, immediately an answer will strike us, but we have to reread and find out whether the answer is applicable, whether it suits the context and then decide whether the tense form is right and apt. So, let us do it together. We Indians dash pride in our rich civilization. So, our general habit. So, take pride. It is not took pride or taken pride, take pride in our rich civilization, history and culture. But sad to say, so our drawback there, we find that most people, again habit, so lack, first option LACK, lack in civic sense when it comes to public cleanliness. Then it continues, so forming queues when it comes to public cleanliness, forming queues or even when driving vehicles. So, again ing form driving. Cleanliness and discipline must be inculcated. So, we have to learn it right from a young age. So, inculcated in children in their formative years. We, now look at the options where, are, have, used to. So, we are used to throwing garbage in public places. We dash to be more disciplined. So, we are encouraged to be more disciplined and follow rules, but in trashy places we become trashy ourselves. No city in our country has managed to fight the garbage. So, it goes on and says civic sense is the need of the hour. So, it has to be the need of the hour. Civic sense is the need of the hour. Next, we move on to a situation which you are going to experience very soon in your life. You would be attending interviews. Now, let us look at a sample interview. Now, this is between Hari and the general manager. Hari is the candidate. So, he says, good morning sir. Then I dash Ramamurthy, the general manager. So, the manager introduces himself. So, I am, as I told you earlier, be forms of verbs is, was, are, were, am. So, I am Ramamurthy, the general manager. I see that. So, the manager observes something. So, he says, I see that currently you are working. So, present continuous. You are working at ABC International as a senior sales manager. What responsibilities do you have there? So, again it is the habitual action of this person. What job he has been assigned. So, what is he doing now? What responsibilities do you have there? What kind of work do you do there? Then Hari replies, well, on a day-to-day basis, I deal with customers, simple present, and handle all cash transactions, again simple present. However, in the last 6 months, so we go back to the past, I dash other responsibilities like. So, I had been given other responsibilities like taking customer complaints and supervising stock levels. Then the interviewer says, I see. So, you have experience with purchasing stock as well. So, you have experience purchasing stock. Then Hari says, yes sir, I am always on the move. He indicates his type of work, his habit, his activity. I am always on the move. I keep traveling. So, again he says I keep on going to various places. I keep traveling to all the main cities. Then interviewer says, great, we shall get back to you in a week, Hari. So, we shall get back. Look at the tense form there. Hari thanks the interviewer and leaves. We shall now read a short passage with errors and rectify the errors. Now, we are talking about New Zealand. While several destinations is coming up, destinations plural. So, the verb should be are coming up. It is not is coming up, that is your error. I have given all the errors in red. Are coming up with measures to counter the effects of over-tourism, New Zealand was gently urging. So, this is something that is happening now. Therefore, New Zealand is gently urging travellers to be much responsible. See, to be more responsible, not much responsible. So, there is going to be an improvement in their condition. You are going to urge them to be more responsible. The country's tourism industry have launched. So, we are talking about a singular noun. The country's tourism industry, and therefore, it is has launched an initiative. It is not a initiative, an initiative. Tiaki Care for New Zealand, who invites. So, which invites? It is not, we are not discussing a living person. Which invites visitors to care for its unique land and environment. The Tiaki promise encourage, see, it is the name of the organization. Therefore, it is encourages visitors to experience the country in a way that protects the nature environment, natural environment. So, that is a mistake there, the natural environment, it is not nature environment. Respect all cultures. So, to experience the country in a way that protects the natural environment, respects all cultures. Remember, we are talking about the Tiaki promise, that is the true subject. So, respects all cultures and preserves the country on future generations, for future generations. Tiaki means to care for and protect in New Zealand native language. So, to care for and protect, there is no in there, New Zealand's, so apostrophe is New Zealand's native language, Te Reo Maori. In Maori culture, them believe, it is not them, it is they believe all things were interconnected, no, they believe, they still believe, so are interconnected. Peoples is wrong, people and land are one, not once, people and land are unanimous, are one. So, those are your corrections. Now, this passage speaks about some activity that takes place in someone's life. So, you have a judicious mixture of all the tenses. So, be very careful while answering this passage. So, we will start. My father dash like fishing very much, general habit of the father. So, present tense, likes fishing very much. Every Sunday, habitual action, so present tense, every Sunday morning he goes fishing by the river. There dash many different kinds of fishes in the river. There are. So, when he goes to the river, he finds many types of fishes. If my father dash catch a small fish, he will release it in the river. Your if clause comes here. So, if clause first type. If my father catches a small fish, he will release it in the river. Sometimes when he dash lucky enough to get a big fish, when he is lucky enough to get a big fish, he dash home for dinner, dash it home for dinner. He brings it home for dinner. So, if he catches a big fish, he brings it home for dinner. This morning, my father and my brother dash fishing together by the river. Obviously, it is the past tense. This morning, my father and my brother went fishing. Dash promise, they dash promise mom to bring home a big fish. So, they had promised mom or they promised mom to bring home a big fish. In the morning, they dash some bait from the market. So, when they went on fishing, what did they do? When they went fishing, they bought, B-O-U-G-H-T, they bought some bait from the market. As soon as they reached the river, they dash fishing. So, once they reached the river, what happened? They started fishing. They dashed for 2 hours. They waited for 2 hours patiently, but they dashed not catch any fish. But they did not catch any fish. So, let us see what happened to father and brother. There dashed grey clouds in the sky and it looked like it was going to rain. So, there were grey clouds. You are describing what happened in the morning. Therefore, they dash leave empty handed. Therefore, they left empty handed. So, that is how it stops here. Let us see what happens. Then they dash at the market again. Here B is given within brackets. So, remember is, was, are, were, am. These are all be forms of verbs. So, we are talking about what they did, therefore past tense. Then they were at the market again. However, this time they dash not get any bait. They did not get any bait. Instead, they dash a big fish. Instead, they bought a big fish, B-O-U-G-H-T. Then look at the next sentence, at the moment. So, we are talking about the present. Therefore, there is a change in the tense form. At the moment, mom dash prepare dinner in the kitchen. So, she is doing that activity now. So, present continuous. At the moment, mom is preparing dinner in the kitchen. She dash cook the fish. She is cooking the fish. So, they brought the fish home. Now, mom is cooking the fish. Dad and my brother dash watch a football match on TV now. So, whenever you get now, you normally get the present continuous tense. So, dad and my brother are watching a football match on TV now. So, look at the change of the tenses. One more exercise on tenses. So, this is about moving home or house. So, it talks about a family's predicament. So, I come from a very large family, and recently my parents dash decide that. So, decided that they dash spend long enough living in an overcrowded house in Chennai. They had spent, past perfect, had spent long enough living in an overcrowded house in Chennai. We dash moved to the country. My father dash announced one evening. We shall move to the country. That is his decision. My father announced one evening. I dash this house. I shall sell this house. And we dash live on a farm. We will live on a farm. We shall live on a farm. So, last week we dash all our belongings. We loaded all our belongings into 2 hired vans, and for the last few days we dash try to organize ourselves in our new home. So, the action, you can see that the action keeps continuing. So, we have been doing it for quite some time. So, we have been trying. So, present perfect continuous tense. We have been trying to organize ourselves in our new home. Yesterday, for example, my 2 brothers and I started, yesterday, so past tense, started painting the upstairs rooms. Unfortunately, while I dash the paint, so activity continues. So, while, but it happened yesterday, so past continuous. While I was mixing the paint, one of my brothers dash opened the door. So, one of my brothers opened the door. Nobody dash tell him that we. Nobody had told him that we dash in the room. Be form of verb, we plural. So, we were in the room. So, instead of painting the walls, we dash spent. We spent all morning cleaning paint off the floor, from the floor. Okay. But worse things dash happen since then. So, since, whenever you get since, it is present perfect continuous. Worse things have been happening since then. So, this morning when I dash up, so when I woke up, past tense, water dash dripped through the ceiling next to my bed. So, I found this happening, going on. So, was dripping, past continuous tense. We dash spent the last 5 hours repairing the roof. So, we spent or we have been spending, both are applicable here, the last 5 hours repairing the roof. It is not all bad news though. The school in the village nearby dashed down 2 years ago. So, was closed down, or the school in the neighboring, the school in the village nearby had closed down 2 years ago. And my parents dash not find another school for us yet. Have not found, because of yet you use the present perfect tense. And my parents have not found another school for us yet. So, that is how you have been tested extensively in tenses. So, by now I am sure you would have gained a thorough knowledge of what kind of tense to apply in what kind of a situation. So, please master tenses. This unit on connectivity has given us wide knowledge on various legal terms, terms related to education, and has also made us very adept in applying the proper tense forms in different situations. So, vocabulary, communication, you also learnt how to answer an interview. So, all these skills have been touched in this unit. So, please practice well, role play the interview, keep working on tenses, and I hope all of you would score very high in your examinations and would come up very well in your life. All the best, students. Thank you.